the way Istio works is it benefits from the more things that can participate in it. I'm Sven Mawson. I'm one of the founders, actually, of Istio. I'm one of the original members of the team that started Istio working at Google. So I've been with the project since sort of day one, actually before day one, before it was called Istio. So my personal stake in this is I had just come back from paternity leave. So kind of pre-paternity leave, I handed everything off that I was working on. So I came back and was like, all right, what's next? Right, so what do I want to work on next? And this jumped out at me as kind of like the thing I wanted to work on. There were lots of different pieces that all were going on at the same time. And so it kind of made sense, at least in my mind at the time, like, this is a good project to build. So the right thing to start. So that's kind of how it happened. Google generally likes open source, right? We had created Kubernetes. We're starting a bunch of other open source projects, right? We're trying to build an ecosystem and sort of, help build out this open source universe. Partly for altruistic reasons, but also, of course, for corporate reasons, right? Because it had all this proprietary stuff, it ended up having this just, a walled garden where the technologies were just different than what the outside world was using. So even though Google was ahead, the outside world is much bigger than Google. And so as the outside community moved forward, right, like we didn't get the benefit of that. And so Google has seen this for a number of years now. And actually that's, partly what led to Kubernetes. It's what led to Istio. It's what led to some other things where it's like, hey, rather than us building our own thing, and even if we do a really good job eventually getting past, let's just build it all together with the community and everyone benefits from it. The growth of the community. I was looking the other day, like just how many people are in our shared drive that we have all our documents in, and it's, in many thousands of people. And a lot of those are actually active, and we have people from all kinds of companies and all walks of life, and, lots of different folks involved in the project and helping out. And it is really shaping up to be a community. And that actually was not always the way, right? The early days were not like that at all. And so it really feels like a open source community first and not like run by a particular company. So that's actually, very exciting for me. Because this was our third birthday from the first release of Istio, the 0.1 release, went back and looked at the blog posts, and there are some things on the original blog post we still haven't quite nailed yet. So I think some of those areas I'm hoping we'll still follow up on. So, the thing I'm personally focused on right now is the VM support in Istio, and I say VMs, but really I mean non-Kubernetes, so bare metal machines, edge machines. That's like where I think it'll be in 2 years. I think we'll have amazing support for non-Kubernetes. I think we'll have, official support for mobile and for, edge, and maybe some guides for these things. As I was mentioning, we did this big shift away from Mixer towards WebAssembly. I think in 2 years from now, that will really have solidified. People will have written a bunch of new WebAssembly modules that work with Istio. And you'll see a lot more use and usefulness coming out of that model. The advice used to be like, kind of, it's worth it. There's a lot of pain, but it's worth it. But I think we actually have gotten rid of most of the pain, at least around using Istio with a Kubernetes cluster. Yeah, we've made huge strides on simplifying Istio and making it easier to operate. And I'd suggest, people should try it out. And I think my personal vision has kind of been make distributed systems easier is the sort of short tagline for it, right? Like I really want people to be able to do distributed systems in a way that is simple and doesn't require you to actually manage all this infrastructure yourself, but it just works, right? You shouldn't have to worry about the authentication and like whether things are encrypted, and like developers shouldn't be dealing with that stuff, right? They shouldn't have to. They should just rely on the platforms and the technologies to do that for them. And yes, they should say, what services are allowed to talk to their service, right? Because that's the business logic they need to have. Is like, all right, who's allowed access, but they shouldn't have to set everything up to even allow that, right? So that's kind of the idea.